In the last video, we got this back area set up. Lights, workbench, awesome new chop saw. And today we're gonna be setting this up, which is a CNC plasma table, as well as doing some other things. Depending on how everything goes, this could be the last shop renovation video. After this, we move in and we start working on cars again. We start the next big project, which I'm really excited to tell you guys about. I promised you guys a lot of things in the last video. I promised you guys making this CNC table. I promised you guys mounting bench vices. So without any further ado, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna get started on the most exciting and the most daunting thing, which is setting up this CNC plasma table. What is a CNC plasma table? How can I put this as simply as possible? It's like a motorized, super accurate angle grinder that you can program with a computer. Now that's a terrible description of it, but that's the purpose it's going to serve for me. This thing will be able to accurately, precisely, and quickly cut metal, and it's going to allow me to not have to use an angle grinder to make brackets and all sorts of other things. With that being said, let's get started. There is a heck of a lot of hardware for this table, but Langmuir Systems labeled each bag in chronological order from 0 to 30. And on the instructions, it tells you exactly what bag you need for what part of the assembly process. So that's gonna make the assembly process nice and quick. Like, oh, I need bag 5? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, bag 5. Well, it's not quite fully assembled, but it looks like a CNC plasma table now. And I am so freaking excited. Believe it or not, all that progress you've seen has taken 10 hours. It took me 10 hours to get to this point. But I think that's actually pretty decent, considering how many little components there are to this thing. Tomorrow I'm gonna come back and finish it. It's really just attaching the electrical stuff, running the wires, like little finishing up parts. Gotta give a quick shout out to my new Sonic tools. These things have been awesome for assembling all the furniture that I've had to assemble here. But one of the nicest parts is at the end of the day, when I'm tired, I don't feel like organizing stuff, everything just has its place. And it's really easy to put it all back. And it's easy to check to make sure that all the things are indeed back in their right spot. See you tomorrow. It's just like a habit. Yeah, it's a bad habit. I have to edit out all the ums because I say it so often. Welcome back. Don't say so welcome back to day 2, guys. Did a little bit of a Harbor Freight run. Got myself a bench grinder, 2 bench vices, which we will definitely be mounting. A new belt sander. That's not from Harbor Freight. Daniel is here yet again. Daniel is going to be assembling this stuff while I continue to assemble the plasma table. Also, over here, we have the actual plasma cutter, but we'll unbox that once the table's all finished. All the motors are wired up. Laptop stand is on. The wire holdy thingy is on. The next step is to kind of start programming it and tightening things. Unfortunately, in order to continue finishing this thing, I need my laptop, and I don't have my laptop. I forgot it in Illinois when I went to visit. My brother's shipping it back to me though, so hopefully we'll get it in the next day or two, and then we'll continue to set this up. But for now, I'm gonna unbox the plasma torque cutter. Friends over at HTP, who makes all the welders and stuff that I use, they also make plasma cutters. And so here is their CNC plasma cutter, the MicroCut 875SC. Once we're done assembling some more stuff, we'll move the plasma table into the spot I want it to be, and then we'll kind of set this up and stuff. Not just one, I promised two. Time to upgrade. Menards ain't doing it. I was really tempted to go a year without mounting this thing, but efficiency. Daniel is about done assembling the new belt sander, so then we're gonna start rearranging all of this stuff and getting it in its final position. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and put some casters on the press. This press is just gonna be used for metal brake. I'm gonna get a little attachment for it. This stupid press, it's like they welded these bars crooked, so this thing is just super crooked. So I'm gonna have to cut these bars off and re-weld them straight, because this thing goes down at like an angle. I don't know what happened. I tried to whack it back into place. Do you wanna put your foot there and just hold it from falling out?
Under it? What do you mean? Right here?
Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Trying to slide. Right? Yeah. Oh, that was almost bad. It's gonna be sketchier trying to get it up with wheels on it. This is a Harbor Freight grinder, but it's their beefy version.
Oh.
So it's an extension cord. Pretend this is a 4-inch intercooler piping for my 2,000 horsepower build.
2002.
I got cardboard lung now. The press / eventually metal bake. I'm gonna put it in a corner because it takes up too much space, and I don't think I'm gonna use it that often. And when I do need to use it, I can just roll it out because it's got wheels. So that's over there now, which gives us more space on this wall, which means we can move the welding table, which I will eventually have, over more, and then fit the welders and the plasma table.
I just realized I wasn't recording. My bad.
You clicked the record button. It was already recording when I gave it to you.
Oh, that's why.
Bro, YouTube 101. No, I don't.
Yeah.
We don't do this.
No,
stuff.
pretty much
That's
story
like,
of our lives.
That camera costs as much as our build.
If you only knew how many times I didn't hit record and I just don't ever say anything.
Yeah, because he'll never hear the end of it, bro.
This is an exciting moment. You remember what used to be here? The little tent with our Eclipse. Storm blew our fence down, but you know, It is what it is. Then we come over to the backyard shop and nice and empty. So what are we doing today? You guessed it. It's moving day. This sucked. You know, working outside for 6 months, it sucked big time. But I learned a lot. That era of Gin Gym is over. We're back. We're moving in. We got Mike's truck loaded up with a bunch of my stuff. JMR Rebuilder's truck also loaded up with a bunch of stuff. And now we're gonna try to load the truck up onto the trailer and get this to the shop because this thing is broken. I crashed it, technically. Long story short, the wheels are stuck like that. So we're gonna have to unbolt the wheels and then we can winch it onto the trailer. Gotta love that these are nylon lock nuts. So they're just barely tight enough where I can't get them by hand, but they're like super easy by this wrench. Quarter turn at a time. I mean, I was going maybe like between 5 and 10 miles per hour. I was not going that fast.
You guys want to see what Caleb did? So,
Oh, let me turn this around. He wrecked it, right? So you're thinking, oh, he was probably like sliding it or doing something crazy. No,
he hit his freaking water meter. You see how his water meter is like at an angle? That's because he hit it at like 10 miles an hour and wrecked the steering rack.
Hey, it steers!
Hey, nice.
This is where all the hard work is at, right here.
Okay. I don't know that I've ever put a vehicle on where you turn each wheel separately as you go up onto the trailer. First time.
Here's the bad news, gents. We're as far as we can go.
It is like this. I mean, we can hook to the frame.
You would
right
think
here.
a drift truck would have some sort of hook here. Give me, you know, like a hook to hook stuff onto with a hook thing. You know, for drifting.
What?
A hook.
You actually
that's
have
not
to
gonna
drift
work.
it to need that.
Yeah, he drifted it right into this water meter. Ha 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 ha. I have to say, this is my favorite build. This is a build that connected us to.
That's ready.
No bueno, bro. With a trailer, I drive extremely careful and cautious. I do not accelerate excessively.
He's shaking his head.
I literally drive it like it's a car. Doesn't matter if I got a 6,000 pound F-150 or a 1,000 pound Mazda.
You don't actually remember that there's a trailer behind us
Nah,
most
bro,
of the
I
time.
just let it rip.
That's a nice sight, seeing this thing finally move from that little spot in the yard. We're also taking the Eclipse to the shop. It's crazy to think that just a month ago, we were working on this car in the driveway. To me, it feels like a lifetime ago that we were doing that. I feel like I haven't worked on it in forever. It's crazy how much can change in just 30 days. But man, I am so excited to get back to work on it. I've got some really big plans for it. You guys will hear about that soon. But we're about 5 minutes out from the shop. See you guys there. We made it. Now we gotta get this thing unloaded and attempt to get it into the shop without wheels attached to a steering wheel. Either. Unfortunate.
It doesn't even sound like it's trying.
No, it doesn't. Alright, we're gonna have to. Oh no, okay, it's going off a little bit. I think like straight back now, really.
Let's go, brother! We gotta get this thing up in there, brother! You understand what I'm saying? Sorry.
Alright, we're turning it.
This is so much easier. Yeah, I mean, you gotta go 15 feet here. Let's see. I think it's fine, brother. I mean, worst case scenario, you're gonna have amazing content when it goes whoop.
No, so here you can see this is exactly where I hit the manhole cover.
Yeah, the water.
And it totally crooked the steering rack mount, totally bent this up. So I bet you there's a bunch of load on the steering rack itself, and then now the U-joint is hitting the frame as well. So that is why it's not steering. I've got big plans for this thing. Like, we're gonna do a full rebuild eventually, but I think in the next couple days I'll cut that out and just rebuild the mount, just so it's at least driving. You know, it's a truck still, and the bed would be really useful for moving and stuff. It sucks that it can't go any higher. Like, this is as high as it can go because the back beam is about to hit the bed of the truck.
It goes nose in, it could.
Yeah, if it was nose in, it could, that's true.
He probably grabbed it.
Oh, that poor.
That's so painful. Was he crying?
Isn't this a sight to behold? The next day, yesterday, moving in, went pretty well. We got the truck up there, figured out the damage on that. We got the Eclipse in here. I brought over all my boxes from the house. We got a Rogue Fab tube bender right here. I organized all the tubs that we bought a little bit earlier. And we got the H2P welders all set up. Putting these things together made me so happy because we're so close to being back to fabricating. Also brought over all my other consumables from the house. Nice and full of consumables now. Tool cabinet up front is also looking good. I got all my tools. Organization in the fabrication area isn't quite done because I was a dummy and I bought the wrong wall control wall things. So these ones have to be mounted vertically. The slats that the attachments go into are now 90 degrees off. So when I get new ones of those, I'll organize all this stuff up there. That's pretty much it. I mean, this shop is 90% finished. Today, I'm gonna go ahead and assemble the tube bender. I'm gonna hang up some more banners, and then I'm going to organize some bolts and wire stuff in the little area over there. So we got a Rogue Fabrication tube bender and their welding cart, or their tube bending cart, their tool cart. And then we also got two dies, a 1 3/4 inch die and a 1.5 inch die. This whole thing is welded together, so I'm not going to assemble it today, but it's going to be awesome. The last tube bender I had was obviously a mounted manual tube bender. It was fine, but this thing is going to be way better. Number one, it's hydraulic, so it's gonna be way easier. Number two, it's on wheels, so it can roll around. Thirdly, it bends tubes vertically instead of like horizontally, so I can bend longer tubes without hitting things. It's sick, and I gotta give them a huge thanks. They sent me this tube bender 7 months ago, right when I moved to Georgia, hoping I'd get a shop immediately. And then we all know what happened, and they patiently awaited the day where their product would be unboxed. So huge thank you to Rogue Fab. I'll have a link in the description down below. In the next video, we will build this, and we're gonna get the plasma table working. And so here we are, guys. Since my old shop, you know, it was so long ago that I had my old shop, I don't really remember how just basic that place was. This place, not only does it look so cool, but it's gonna be so efficient. This shop has just, honestly, it's exceeded my every dream. All my hopes, it exceeded all of them. This is exactly what I wanted. A place that I can work in cleanly, efficiently, but has super awesome vibes. It makes me feel like I'm in a Fast and Furious movie when I'm in here. I can't believe that this place is mine. I got all the little finishing touches done. I got this wire and tape holder assembled. I'm gonna paint it black, but that will be really nice. Keep everything organized. I put all my nuts and bolts and all of my electrical components into these little plastic bins. That will be really awesome for organization. There is going to be one more shop video, and then it's on to the next project. The next big project, which I'm going to reveal to you guys in a few days, so get excited. Thank you, everybody. Seriously, none of this would have been possible without you guys. All the people that stuck around and continued to watch when things were rough, when I was just working out in my driveway. You essentially saved my life. I mean, my life would have gone on if I couldn't have kept doing YouTube, but you made it possible for me to get here, and I am so grateful. I'm so happy. When I was putting those welders together, I got a little emotional just because I'm so excited to get back to these things that I've been wanting to do essentially this past year. Also, thank you to all the companies that have helped out: Pennzoil, Rogue Fab, HTP, Langmuir Systems, Wall Control, Viper Chairs, Evolution Power Tools. You guys are also super awesome. Links to everything in the description, all the sponsors and all the non-sponsored stuff, like this rack, like all these organization things, like this thread checker. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a great day. Peace out and goodbye.
Oh God. Oh, I think they still had all that.
the point.
It's been tested.
It has to test it. All right. hey, that gets,
Listen, you will now use this with confidence in the future.
hey, that gets a JMR stamp of approval, yo.